What a night for Kylian Mbappé. A hat-trick at the Camp Nou against Barcelona, the first player since Shevchenko to do it in the Champions League. And that is 40 goal contributions. 40 goal contributions in 41 games for the young man. Absolutely sensational. I think he's now arrived. He's been around a while, we know this, but I think he has now arrived as the best football player on the planet. And how poetic to do it against Lionel Messi, to take Ronaldo's crown against Lionel Messi. It's just poetic. It is beautiful. It is wonderful. What a performance from him. What a performance from Mauricio Pochettino's men. What a message that is sent across the bows. What an announcement for Poch at the highest stage with Paris Saint-Germain, of course, recently appointed. Liverpool as well tonight, 2-0 victors away against RB Leipzig. An excellent performance from Jurgen Klopp's men. Considering all the issues they've had domestically, it was a brilliant display. There is no doubt about that whatsoever. We've got some super chats to do straight away here that I've got to jump into. First one says, Kylian Mbappé has all the tools to become the Ballon d'Or winner in the future. He's world class. Lionel Messi must be puking right now. Look at his body language as if he knows not to bother anymore. Listen, they look finished now, this Barcelona team. We've seen other great size dip and finish. They are certainly there. Aaron here says, mate, I have so many points to discuss tonight. Mbappé, Liverpool win finally, and Barca's capitulation and more. And that's the point. There is so much to speak about. There is so much to digest. We're going to take your calls. We're going to have some of the panel on later. Already got man like Neeks and the like backstage. But get your super chats in. Let us know what you're thinking and feeling. Liverpool fans, I really want to hear from you as well, because it was such an important night for Liverpool. Only realistic chance of silverware this year, or the only chance of silverware this year, remains in the Champions League. Liverpool, we know, have the ability to turn it round. They did excellent tonight after a shaky first 5-6 minutes. What a great performance to win 2-0 away from home against Leipzig. Little word on Upamecano, though. Man looks shaky, bruv. People like me wanted him next to Maguire. No thanks. Not that you won't become great. Don't need that right now. We need experience. Man like Jerome says, I really hope Poch can get Paris Saint-Germain to win the Champions League and then take that trophy and shove it in Daniel Levy's face and tell him, I told you so. I told you so. Daniel Levy out and Munich, get out of my club. Look at that. Angry Tottenham fans after watching what Paris Saint-Germain and Kylian Mbappé just did. Terry, Barca fan, how can I come on? I've shared the link on Discord. And I've shared the link on my Twitter accounts. My Twitter accounts are scrolling across the bottom bar. The link for StreamYard is there for you to call in and have your say. But let's just have this right. Mbappé, best player in the world right now. What we saw from him tonight was scintillating, beautiful, enthralling, and classy, grown up. Absolutely magnificent. There is no doubt about it. And Paris Saint-Germain have just laid down a marker and said, yo, we're favorites. Bayern Munich, step aside. We're going to take over this year. Whether that happens or not is another question. That's the marker that they have set down. What a performance. What a performance. Trent was great tonight, is what David has said. Yeah, the whole Liverpool team tonight, defensively, in midfield, and in the attack, were sensational. They did brilliant. It can't be denied. Thiago's best game in a Liverpool shirt. And they'll now want to take that and push that back into the Premier League as well. I'm going to do a few calls first of all. First up, Monsieur Ahmed's on the line. Monsieur, welcome back to the terrace. What do you want to say?
Good win, Terry. I mean, both games had Liverpool written. So Mbappe 2021's happening. So we're going to get him in summer, I think, hopefully. But other than that, I mean, it was great intensity from the players. We looked like our old selves. But like I said, it is against the side who attack on RB Leipzig. So for us, it was quite perfect. But we need to continue that form onto Everton, where Ancelotti will be defensively set up for that game. But I mean, we take the win. Look at the positives and think Salah, all the front three played great. The midfield was good, and the defense with Henderson was good. And Alisson had a calm game today. So please, Terry, and Mbappe is going to win the Ballon d'Or. Give it 2 years. 2 years, I'd say.
He's undoubtedly going to win it. I think you're absolutely right, mate. Monsieur, thank you very much for coming on and having your say. Really appreciate that, mate. Next up, we've got Aaron LFC. Welcome back to the terrace. What you saying, bro?
What's happening, Terry? So I just want to big up the young guy, what's his name, Kabak. I feel like he was solid today. A lot of pressure on him in his second game in the side. I think Hendo led him really well as well. And yeah, I'm just happy to get back to winning ways, man. It feels like it's been a while to get a good win under our belt.
No, absolutely. I think especially after so many defeats in the league, a lot of the turmoil that surrounded Liverpool in the last few days, the rumours about Klopp leaving, it was such a great kind of message from everybody involved to say, we're going nowhere. Klopp's here to stay. And I think it sends a really good message out into Europe to say, listen, you can almost ignore our league form a little bit. We're here to go in the Champions League. And yeah, very, very good tonight indeed. It really was. Aaron, mate, thank you very much for coming on and having your say. Really appreciate that, bro. Next up, we're going to have who's coming on next? We've got someone whose name is Mbappé over Haaland. Zach's with us. What you saying, Zach?
Yeah, I'm good, Terry. I just want to say, as my name says, Mbappe is clear of Haaland. I don't want to hear no more Twitter. So before on Twitter, I always get arguments, people saying, "Oh, Mbappe's better than Haaland the other way around," but he's just proven that he's on another level today. Hat-trick at Camp Nou as well. And I want to make another point on Leipzig and the manager Nagelsmann. How stupid can you be to play a high line against Liverpool? Like, what is actually wrong with you? You know that's how they win games. Like,
do you know what, bro?
Dumb is that? I don't get it.
I said the same thing, right? RB Leipzig play. This is the one thing with young system managers with no experience at the highest level of the game. I'm talking the elite table of the elite end of the spectrum. He's got one way of playing, and the problem you have, even when they beat Man United and knocked us out of the Champions League, do you know what? In the second half, it got dicey. Why? Because they didn't know how to shut up shop. And those are the kind of things where when you're a top-level manager, you've got to be able to do game management. And RB Leipzig play almost at one pace for the entirety of games. And when you go up against a team like Liverpool, that they latch onto space like a virus. And yeah, they come a cropper tonight. And it could have been worse, really, in the end. If Liverpool were at their scintillating best, purring, all guns blazing, it could have been really, really painful for him. Mate, listen, appreciate you coming on and having your say. Thank you very much, Zach. Next on the show, we have got who we're going to go to next. We're going to get Tarap on the show. Tarap, welcome back to the terrace, bro. What you saying?
Oh, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. This is exactly what I wanted. And the funny thing is, this is exactly how the Leicester game should have gone if Alisson didn't do those mistakes. It felt like I was watching the exact same game. We boxed them in. They couldn't get out. They had one or two opportunities. And that was it. I want to give a shout out to Curtis Jones. I love this kid. And I feel like he doesn't get as much credit as he deserves. Obviously, I'm not saying he's in the Saka, Foden, Greenwood conversation, but I'd probably put him fourth. So this is a very Curtis Jones number one fan kind of chat show going on, because honestly, this I think he's 19 years old and he looks so calm and composed on the ball. And it's not just on the ball, it's off the ball as well. Like the amount of challenges he was winning, the way he was bodying off of Sabitzer and the other midfielders in there. And one more point, Upamecano, fraud. Absolute fraud. I don't know what Bayern Munich are getting. Maybe it was just a one-off. I mean, he is a talented centre-back, but the way he was moving today,
it reminded me of Old Trafford. Rashford's hat-trick against him, and the hat-trick was good on the night, but Upamecano's defending was pony. And it's one of those things for me, it goes to prove that most Premier League fans that rave about European stars don't watch European football, because I can't believe that this is the game at Old Trafford and the game tonight are the first two times in his life that he's made those kind of mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. I mean, I'm not saying that, he's unbelievable. I've not watched him. It's just Twitter and social media that hype all these youngsters up very quickly, and suddenly everyone, or as generic fans, we just go safe because everyone else is saying they're a great player. They are a great player. We'll wait and see, but I'm happy. It's a great performance. Big game on Sunday against Everton. This is exactly what we needed. So hopefully we can take this into Sunday, and it's a must win.
Absolutely ahead of the derby. It's so important indeed, bro. Thank you very much for coming on, having your say, mate. Really appreciate it. Hamid here says, I forgot what it feels like to win a game. You wouldn't have thought a Liverpool fan would be saying that. Jason here says, I believe United dodged the bullet not signing Upamecano because he looked average, is what's been said there. Next on the show, we are going to have, who are we going to next? We're going to go to Philip Hunt. Philip Hunt's with us. What you saying, bro?
Oh, finally a win. I'm very happy, Terry. I know that the 2 goals came from Leipzig mistakes, but, you got to take advantage when it's, gifted to you on a silver platter. But we weren't that great, to be honest. We let them invade our defense a lot. And if that was, let's say, Man City, PSG, Bayern Munich, or Atletico Madrid, I think if we were playing them, we'd probably be 3 or 4-0 down because we were very sloppy in times in the defense. But luckily, when we play them again, I think we get Fabinho back, we'll get Jota back, and we'll be a stronger side. But RB Leipzig, their defense is their biggest problem, and we saw that when you guys scored 5 goals against them at Old Trafford. Like, they're very vulnerable, so I'm very lucky. Liverpool are very lucky that we've got to them in the round of 16.
Yeah, listen, totally hear you on that. I think that I said earlier when we had Chris on from Redmen, the perfect team tonight, the perfect team for Liverpool to play with RB Leipzig. Listen, I think Nagelsmann's a brilliant manager for the future. I think that Leipzig are a very, very capable team. And every now and then with teams like Leipzig, they'll blow people away. But at the same time, they're a little bit like a lucky bag. Sometimes they can have, if they'd have scored that early goal, it could have been different, but they didn't.
Can I say, Terry?
You kept them at bay in that first 20 minutes, and then they die off a little bit because they start off like a bull in a china shop. And if they don't get that lead, they're susceptible.
Yeah, can I say, Terry, one final thing is I'm glad that PSG smashed Barcelona because I've always, anytime Barcelona are out of a Champions League knockout stage, it's always a good thing for the rest of us. And PSG, I'm not as worried about them as I am about, let's say, Atletico Madrid or Bayern. So I wouldn't mind actually getting them.
I hear you on that, bro. Listen, Phil, thank you very much for coming on, mate, and having your say.
Terry.
Really do appreciate it. Remember, Neeks from the panel is backstage. Some more of the Football Terrace boys should be here soon. I don't know where they all are, to be honest with you. I don't know what they're up to, crying or whatever. Super chat here from Miguel says, never compare Mbappé to Rashford. Listen, we know that Mbappé has just gone from strength to strength to strength over the last 4 or 5 years and is clear of the majority of young attackers, especially Marcus Rashford at this moment in time. I would love to see a Marcus Rashford with better coaches as well. I'm not saying he would get to he wouldn't do what Mbappe is doing. Mbappe is absolutely sensational, but let's not get it twisted. If you think Jose Mourinho and Oli are rubbish, and you think Thomas Tuchel and Maurizio Pochettino are amazing, you know what I mean? 2 and 2. We know what that adds up to. But don't let Mbappe's ability turn it into a let's attack Marcus Rashford. That's for toxic, weak, nasty, horrible people. And I don't think any of my viewers are that indeed. Klopp Talk says most informed team in Germany. Stop being salty. I'm not being salty. I praised you. But I predicted it before the game started. RB Leipzig are a good team for Liverpool to play because of the systems. It's as simple and it's as straightforward as that. It's as simple and as straightforward as that. Next on the show, we are going to get Maz. We're going to get Maz on the show. What are you saying, Maz?
Can you hear me?
Yes, bro. What are you saying?
Okay, I was watching the Barcelona game mainly because actually, I didn't really watch Liverpool. That was the funniest game I've seen in Barcelona. That's a trash. I haven't seen Barcelona this bad in forever. And actually watching ESPN FC, not watching, but read their tweets, and they were just summarizing just how bad Barcelona's been over the past 6 months. Lost the Liga to Madrid, lost 8-2 versus Munich. They kept Messi when Messi wanted to leave. This is their worst start to the season in 3 decades in that. And it's just really, really bad for them. I don't know how they're going to come up through this. And I heard they're supposed to have elections soon or something like that. But hopefully it changes soon because seeing them bad is funny. It's just for what they used to be, it's kind of wild.
Well, this is what happens, though. It's the cycles within football. Things go up, things go down, and there was always going to come a day where this happened. And Messi, I'm not saying he's still a very good footballer. Maybe he's past his potent best. He certainly looks like he needs a new challenge and wants a new challenge. Barca are being run badly. We speak about this all the time on the terrace. When a football club is run poorly, it performs badly. It's as simple and as straightforward as that. Maz, thank you very much for coming on, mate. Great points. Thank you. Aaron here, the Liverpool fan, says RB will play right into our hands in the second leg, having to go for it. Looking forward to the derby now. Let's go. Absolutely. Absolutely right. When you say that, they're the perfect team for Liverpool. Generally speaking, teams that open up and play football are perfect for Liverpool, perfect for City. They love it. What Liverpool have struggled against, and just go and look at the majority of your defeats and teams you've dropped points against this year. Slightly pragmatic sides. It hasn't been against the open and expansive teams, generally speaking, or not in the way they played when they're against you. We have another super chat here from Ryan that says only Ronaldo has more Champions League knockout goals than Mané in the past 4 to 5 years. He's too disrespected. Listen, Mane's not disrespected. I pretty much have seen the world say he is the best left-sided attacker in the world for the last couple of seasons. That's pretty damn good respect. He's brilliant. Mo Salah is the most disrespected Liverpool attacker, in my opinion. For whatever reason, he just doesn't get the love that he deserves. In a season for Liverpool that's been up and down, without his goals, where would they be, both in the Champions League and in the Premier League? I think it's 23 goals, plus the assists he has this year are brilliant. But Mane and him, both top stars indeed. Absolutely top stars. Make sure you're smashing that like button, ladies and gentlemen, right about now. Let's do some more of your comments. Then we're going to jump into some more calls. Terry, RB Leipzig are the leads of the Champions League. I think that's... I hear you. They're better than Leeds, but I hear what you're saying. I get where you're drawing that comparison from. There's no doubt. Next up on the show, we've got KC. KC, welcome back to the Terrace. What do you want to say?
Yeah, I'm a Barcelona fan, so this was like always going to be a rebuild season. So I'm not like that sad after the performance. But what pissed me off was like, you're starting the same defense that conceded 4 to Liverpool, conceded 8 to Bayern, and now conceded 4 to PSG. So, and I can't even blame Koeman for that because all of our defense is like dead right now. Araujo, who was the best player, who has been our best defender, injured. Langley can't defend to save his life. And what pissed me off more was like Dembele. Oh my God, man, this man, he missed that chance at Camp Nou from Messi. He did it again today. So yeah, this is the thing. This is a team in rebuild. It will take like, I think, 1 or 2 years to be serious in CL again.
Listen, it will take time. And if the club isn't being run properly, as so much of the heartache that keeps coming out, keeps suggesting, Casey, it could take even longer. Thank you very much for your call. Panel coming soon, people. But next up on the show, Adam LFC is here. Adam, welcome to the Terrace. What you saying?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, bro. What you saying, mate?
Cheers for letting me on. Liverpool fans, I'm a Liverpool fan, and tonight's performance was great. We have made a lot of excuses in the past, but tonight you can't fault any of them. I thought Kabak was solid at the back. A few mistakes against an Mbappé you concede, but really well played. I'm a bit like, I've never done one of these chats before, so I'm a bit like nervous.
That's all right. You're speaking sense, mate. Keep saying what you got to say.
I think Salah and Mané will always run in behind. With the way they play out from the back, they kind of just keep playing out from the back. They make mistakes. You get in at them. But Thiago scares me. Every time Thiago makes a tackle, he scares me. He's just so... I don't know. In Champions League, he should be his bread and butter. Do you have it? But when it comes to the Premier League, I think he just needs time to get in there. But he scares me every time.
I do hear where you're coming from. It's just going to take a little bit of time to settle the system and everything else. It took Fabinho a good 3 or 4 months of playing for Liverpool for that to happen. And I'm sure he'll come good. We know how good Thiago is, mate. Thank you, Adam, for your call, mate. Really appreciate it. Great call as well. We're going to get Neeks and Jem on in just a few moments. One final call before we do that. We are going to get... Who are we going to get? We're going to get man like Aaron on. Aaron, welcome back to the Terrace, mate. What do you want to say, brother?
Oh, mate, that was the starter going into Donny Accrington tomorrow. That was the main course tomorrow. But this is the starter, and this has got me all fired up tonight. Liverpool did very, very well today. I'm not going to lie. Leipzig played a very high line. It was very, very easy to get at. Upamecano, they made Upamecano look like Phil Jones, and that's saying something. Liverpool have done really, really well. As for Barcelona, I think it's pretty much how the mighty have fallen. PSG, Pochettino just put out an impressive statement there in terms of his managerial career. wanting to win more trophies. So overall, PSG and Liverpool did very, very well. Terry, I just want to say quickly as well. I don't know if you're taking more calls after you've gone through the main points of the panel, but I'd love to come back on with the panel just because the members of that panel have treated me so right. Kendall, Jem, David from the Chelsea ones, the Arsenal lads as well. All brilliant. So I'd love to come back on a little bit later once you've gone through the main points and talk to the panel.
It depends on what's said, but potentially, bro, we can. Listen, Aaron, thank you very much for coming on, having your say, mate. Chat to you again soon, brother. Thank you very much for all your contributions as well. It means a great deal to us here. Right, it's time to get Neeks. Time to get Jem on. Let's do this, people. It's Mbappé Day. It's Mbappé Day, ladies and gentlemen. He's arrived. He's taken Cristiano Ronaldo's crown as the greatest player on earth right now. And to do it in front of Lionel Messi's face, it is amazing. Let's go, baby. Panels here. Neeks, I've got to come to you first. The performance tonight from Kylian Mbappé. Talk to me. Talk to me.
Unbelievable. Like, this guy... Listen, I love this guy. I think when I saw this guy for the first time, I knew, and I'm not saying this as some kind of soothsayer. I'm sure I wasn't the first person to say it, but this guy, Ballon d'Or winner, written all over him. I was in France when they won the World Cup. I was in Nice, actually. So the atmosphere around that time was unbelievable. And of course, he was instrumental for France to win that World Cup at, 19 years old? 18, 19 years old? And yeah, he's had a bit of a downturn. He didn't he hadn't scored in the Champions League knockout rounds for like a year, and people were slandering here, slandering there. But this will happen with young players. They will go up, they'll go down. But he showed all his quality tonight, and not just the goals. There was about a minute before they scored, I think it was their second goal. He's chasing back and tackles. I think it might have been Frankie de Jong on the halfway line, wins the ball back. And then they end up playing it around and they score their second goal. His running, his direct play, dribbling past people, and then that finish at the end. The pass from, I think it was Draxler, wasn't even great because it was it was slightly behind him, so he had to pause his run. But the way he just curled it, like Henry used to do that for fun, and Mbappe did that with so much ease. This guy, I was gonna say he's gonna go right to the top. He's right at the top. I'm not saying he's the best player in the world. I still think Neymar is right there. But listen, but if you say it, I'm not gonna argue with you. The guy is so good.
It's it is for me with Mbappe, right? What makes him so great is his decision making is so spot on all the time. Like, he's so good. Like, you look at Rashford, right? And I rate Rashford a lot. I'm not trying to compare him, but
so why you mentioning
the thing that lets Rashford down sometimes is his decision making. In my eyes, if his decision making was as spot on or as close as like the Kylian Mbappe, he would be up there because he scores goals like Mbappe does. But Mbappe he's something else. And tonight he was just on fire, bruv. He was so good.
That first goal, like in the Champions League final, he fluffed his lines, and that can happen to anyone in any moment, especially a young player. But it can happen. His first Champions League final. A lot of pressure was on him, and of course Neymar didn't have a great game, I think tactically more than anything, so a lot of pressure was on him and he fluffed his lines. But today, that first goal, that was a calm head. He got the ball in that area, and a lot of strikers would have just maybe shanked their shot or whatever it was. He took a touch, came inside, and then beautiful finish with his left foot. Like, today, he was a man today. He wasn't a young boy, he was a man.
And what I loved about that first goal is, I mean, firstly, who doesn't love moments of brilliance, first and foremost? Moments of brilliance are just, they make football what it is. But his first touch wasn't particularly great. His first touch, the ball got kind of caught underneath him and he stayed relaxed. And it isn't the decision-making for me, it's the composure. He stayed composed. He stayed focused. And then the shot and the deliverance was amazing. The second goal reminded me of the opportunities he missed in the Champions League final. Opportunity for a striking goal, gets the second. The third, shit my boots. It was just, as I said, the ball was behind him. He hit it, and you knew, right? I swear to you on my life, as soon as he went to shoot, I went to goal. I knew. It reminded me. Do you remember that goal Anthony Martial scored again? I want to say it was against Stoke. where Rooney passed the ball to him and he hits it first time. It might have been in the
yeah.
It didn't matter. You just knew it was in as soon as he hit it. It reminded me of that.
That reminded me of Thierry Henry. That goal. You know the way he used to curl them in top corners like that.
Now I'm making a big statement now. Kylian Mbappe is better than Thierry Henry and will be break records. He already is for me, right?
You know what? Listen, I'm right now. Henry has done more in his career. Of course, Henry has a lot longer career, but I agree. He will be better than Henry. He's already won a World Cup and he was instrumental in it. And all he needs is a Champions League, and he's matched Henry.
On your point, on your point on the Mbappe Henry, at the same age, it's sort of their path was so similar. Like Henry was part of that '98 winning World Cup winning squad, but he wasn't a main starting player.
No, yeah.
Mbappe.
I don't think their paths are the same at all. Henry, for me, it was not until he got into around Mbappe's age now. What age was he when he joined Arsenal?
I want to say 22.
21.
About this age. Then he kicked on. Up until then, Henry's start was good, but it wasn't sensational. Kylian Mbappe is 22 years old, and his whole career has been sensational.
Well, he's done it all already. He literally just needs a Champions League and a Ballon d'Or, and he has completed football, and he could do that before he's 25.
Yeah, the final thing he needs, though, to do, and I know Paris Saint-Germain fans are going to hate me for saying this, he needs to go to La Liga or the Premier League.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Yeah, he needs to go to one of either the best two or the biggest two.
What about Serie A?
No.
Not to Juventus.
No, unless he does what like
AC Milan.
The thing is, there's two things. Like if he goes to an AC Milan, for example, and wins them, it's a great achievement. But you still question the quality of the teams around him. That's the thing. I can still, even though the achievement to bring that team up will be great, I think. Like Juve is not even as good as they were. So when is he going to go, and how good is the competition really going to be?
It's like anything. I think that. I mean, look, if he could go to Bayern Munich and do it there again. Most of us, when you're like putting your hand on your heart, you start looking past sort of 5th, 6th place in the Bundesliga, and it's like, I'm not too sure. For me, he has to go to the Liga or he has to go to the Premier League and deliver and seriously deliver. But I think he will do that. I think that I think it will be Real Madrid that he goes to. Personally, I've just got a gut feeling, and he's going to go there and he's going to kill it. I'm not saying he'll go there and do Cristiano Ronaldo numbers and 4 Champions Leagues in 5 years or whatever madness it was, but I think he'll do that. By the time Kylian Mbappe is done, he'll be looked at, and I think it'll be him and Zinedine Zidane who are looked at as the best 2 French players of all time. And I think Mbappe, the only 2 footballers of the modern day era that I don't know if Mbappe will touch is Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. The rest of them, whatever your position is in that list, look out. Kylian Mbappe is
100%.
Kid is absolutely next level. And do you know what I like? And I love what Neek's brought up about this. And I Have Hope is watching. And I hope you're watching, brother. The work rate, the running, the pressing, the movement off the ball, that is hard work. That hard work is needed because Mbappe is not just a finisher. He is a team player. He has absolutely every single attribute you want a player wearing your shirt with your badge on the front to have. Absolutely sensational. We're going to continue. One second. I'm going to go to the second round. We've got some super chats here. Chris here says this was one of those passing of the torch moments we rarely see in sports history. Amazing performance from Mbappe.
Can I pause that? Because I think he's saying passing the torch from Messi to Mbappe, and Messi didn't have the torch. Ronaldo is the greatest Champions League player of all time. So it's not Messi's torch to pass, if that's what you're suggesting.
Yes, and Cristiano Ronaldo is the greatest football player of all time. So it's his crown. He is better than Messi.
No, he ain't.
We know this to be a fact that Ronaldo is.
No, he ain't.
Cast iron fact. That's terrible.
It is a pure, cast iron fact. No, do you know why it is as well? It's because he's done it in all the leagues, and that's what Mbappe is going to have. Mbappe is going to. I think when Mbappe retires, he's going to have done it in 2 or 3 leagues as well. He's going to look at the. I also think Mbappe picked Ronaldo over Messi, didn't he? I swear I read that in an interview.
Who picked who over who?
Ronaldo over Messi.
Probably. It would make sense. Their styles are more similar anyway. If he did.
Yeah, maybe. But definitely going to be clear of Thierry Henry. And if he's lucky, the French Rashford, aka Mbappe, might even be as good as Wayne. I'm winding people up now. It's winding people up. Everyone tuning in, smash the like button. We're joined. I didn't think we were going to be joined by my friend tonight. KJ's here with us. What are you saying, bro?
Yo, so I was just listening. The man's just been out here chilling in that. But yo, Mbappe is the don, fam. Let's just not get it twisted. When that kid scored that goal in the World Cup final here, when he did that, I knew it. I knew it from that day. I was like, yo, he's doing it all. He's doing it all. He will win a Ballon d'Or. He will go and become the best player in the world because he's already almost there. You can argue Messi and Ronaldo in some way, shape, or form. And you can argue Neymar and maybe Lewa. But other than them man there, but he's better. He's better than everyone else. He is. And also on these, you know what? You know why we need to stop the whole conversation about Rashford and Mbappe and stuff? Because people are using it to be rude to Rashford. Stop. Yeah. We know that we know that Mbappe is better than him.
Well, if Mbappe is the best young player in the world, by definition, he's better than every other young player in the world. It's not a discussion that needs to be.
The only reason you would compare Rashford and Mbappe is to get Rashford and show him the levels. To show him they play similarly. But Mbappe is just better than him. So you can look at them and be like, right, what does Rashford need to do?
But
Jem, I'm saying they can be. If you're doing it in terms of what does Rashford need to do to get to that level, people are doing it. People are doing it to be rude and disingenuous.
They're not. It's used. One sec, Ram. It's used as a stick, and that's it's used as a stick to beat Rashford with. The tweets are not complimenting Mbappe; they're attacking Rashford. And do you know what? I expect that from Liverpool and Chelsea and Arsenal fans. When you see it from fake Man United fans, I'm like, what? How much of a poisonous person, or actually not poisonous, how much of an angry or lonely person must you be to think I'm watching a great sporting moment, and as that super chat said, a passing of the torch moment, where I'm seeing Mbappe's been around for a while, but he's coming of age in the knockout stages of the best knockout tournament in world football, and your first thought is, how can I turn this and attack my own football club? For me, I didn't think about Man United once tonight when I'm watching the Barca game. I did a little bit when watching Leipzig because we played them this season, but my first thought was, wow, look at Mbappe. It's like I never really got embroiled in the Messi-Ronaldo debate in a kind of deep way because I felt like I love Ronaldo, but I also think Messi's amazing, right? And that's where people can't compute it. The negativity is an absolute joke.
Eric, can I bring something to the table? Because I mentioned it in our United show group, just as a passing comment, but a question. Well, obviously we know that Paul Pogba's he's gonna leave Man United at some point, probably in the summer. He's got 1 year left. If not, obviously with free transfer. But if he leaves in the summer, obviously the question is, how much does he cost? How much we're gonna get for him? Blah blah blah. Who can we get to replace him? Would you do? And I asked it I don't think KJ answered in the chat actually, but would you do a straight swap for Paul Pogba and Marco Verratti in the summer if PSG wanted?
Yes. If you're saying Paul Pogba is definitely going to leave and there's no way of recovering him staying,
yes.
What I put out there, If the option is Paul Pogba leave for money, Paul Pogba leave for free in 2 years or next summer, or Paul Pogba sort of Verratti, and those are the three options. I'm saying Paul Pogba, Verratti.
You do know he's injury prone, though, didn't you? You do know he suffers injury.
I am aware of that. But my question is, when you get 60 million for Pogba, let's say for example, what do you do with it? Who do you buy?
It's two things. Sorry, go on, KJ, bro. Go on.
I'm about to say, Verratti, if you tell me to do a swap deal for Verratti, I'm taking it because Verratti is absolutely amazing.
He is.
But if you're saying to me you're getting cash, I'm getting Jack Grealish.
Ooh.
Okay. Do you know what? I like both of those things. There's two things here. One, I wouldn't swap Pogba for anybody if I'm forcing it. Right, I'm only swapping for Verratti if Pogba wants to leave and we've got no choice in that. But of course, I'll take Verratti. If we had cash, I'd love Jack Grealish. Do you know my problem here? Glazonomics. Do you know what I mean? I can see Pogba leaving, us getting money, and then we end up going and buy the Longstaff brothers. Do you know what I mean? Like that's what I feel Man United are going to go and do. What I
Yeah,
will
we'll
say,
get you, Terry. We'll get the money and buy the wrong player from Villa. We'll end up with Tyrone Mings instead of Jack.
yeah,
Grealish.
or Tyrone Mings and McGinn, who are good, but then it's just levels here, right? I suppose it's this as well. One thing that stood out to me as well tonight, and I won't. This isn't a knock here at so much at Ollie. I was watching it and I was thinking to myself, this is a Rashford thought, a Martial thought, and a Greenwood thought when I'm watching Mbappe, and I'm like, everyone knows I love Thomas Tuchel. I think he's an excellent manager. Everybody knows that I would have been very happy with Poch coming. I don't think they'd guarantee us trophies because of the situation with the owners. But where I do feel sorry for Rashford, Martial, and Greenwood collectively is none of them at Man United really have had a manager in their pomp or a progressive attacking manager. Like, think about, 24 for Martial, 22, 23 for Rashford, and still very young. I think 18, 19 for Mason Greenwood. They haven't had a world-class manager manage them. And that's the one thing where when you look at Mbappe, an advantage that he and other youngsters at Paris Saint-Germain have had in recent years, they've had pretty good managers, 2, 3, 4 on the bounce. And that's
are you saying Poch would get the best out of them three? And is
Yes.
he world class?
Yeah, well, look, of course. Say that again. Unpack that question again.
Would he get would Potts get the best out of them front three, and is he a world class manager? Because he does.
Okay.
He has an attacking impetus, doesn't he? That's
very,
his
very,
style.
very easy to answer. Yes, he would make them better at attacking because he would make us better at attacking. Never denounce that.
Yeah.
Is he a world class manager? The jury's still out. He's a world class coach. World class managers win you major trophies. They manage squads. They bounce back from setbacks. We don't know that about Poch yet. Like a lot of these young managers, we don't know whether they're great managers yet. We know they're very good coaches. That's one when I look at it from a United perspective, and I look at the Mbappes of this world, and I look at who's coached them over the last 3, 4, 5 years, and you just look at it and think, I want Rashford, I want Martial, even Bruno, like just all of, and that's me being very selfish as a man.
When you have a board or ownership who know what they want from a club and the direction they're going in, you can employ different managers yet go in the same direction. You go from Ancelotti to Unai Emery to Tuchel to Pochettino. We go from Moyes to LVG to Mourinho to Solskjaer. It's all mix and match. So nobody knows whether they're coming or going in our club.
Yeah,
Whereas at PSG, regardless, everyone's going the same direction.
Yeah, I've got a question for you guys. It's not about the PSG game. Also, hold tight Barcelona. Yeah, all your corruption is coming to roost and that. You know what I'm saying? All right, listen.
UEFA Lona.
Yeah,
The new Arsenal.
Anyway, yeah, we'll get. I'll be Leipzig Liverpool. Julian Nagelsmann. Is it too early for this guy to be in a conversation for teams like United, Liverpool, Chelsea, even Spurs? Is it too early?
Yes and no. Yes and no.
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
Well, why no? Because I know why.
Because,
yes, but why
because
no?
I would say yes to the Liverpool, Man Cities, and the Chelseas, but no to a Tottenham.
Yeah, sorry, did you mention Tottenham?
I mentioned
Tottenham,
Tottenham at the end. Yeah.
Yeah, not Tottenham. I agree.
So you're saying Tottenham is the highest level of club he should move to next?
I'd say so. I would say so.
A Sevilla, that like
Arsenal.
A team whose fourth place is the target at the start of the season.
I tell you what, Neeks, though, would he get a better opportunity somewhere else? Because I think Leipzig is the perfect place for him right now in his career.
No, I think he would. Why don't you think he would?
What do you mean?
When you say a better opportunity, I'm not sure what your question. Are you saying that
like a better place for him as a manager to develop?
Maybe it's right that he stays there for now. You might be, but in terms of his next move, put it like this: when Klopp's at Dortmund, Klopp has to win the Bundesliga and get to a Champions League final, and then Liverpool say, "All right, come true."
Yeah.
Like, what has Nagelsmann done to get a job for a team that wants to challenge for a title or a Champions League? You might be right. Stay at Leipzig for now and maybe take them a bit further. But yeah, to make a big move now, I don't know.
You know what's interesting about with Nagelsmann? Again, I think he would improve Man United football as an example. There's this part of me though, as much as I like him, and sometimes I'm really screaming for him, there's this element of me that feels like he needs a gateway club before. I almost feel like I want it now, but I'm scared that we could get him too early. As an example, I think AWB jumped up too soon in his career and it damaged him. I think he should have taken his time before taking on an almost poison chalice in Chelsea. You know, you could be
Andre Villas-Boas.
AVB.
Oh,
yeah.
AVB.
Yeah.
Did I say AWB?
AWB. You said one
Sorry,
beside
AVB. Sorry, AVB. Yeah, we all know.
Terry, I just want to say something real quickly, yeah, to all the football hipsters out there. Ousmane Dembele is not better than Marcus Rashford. That is for sure. The guy had an absolute stinker. Like, I was watching both games.
Everyone.
The guy was at fault. Apparently, I turned to the Liverpool game, but apparently he missed an absolute gilt edge opportunity. And then at the same time, he let the runner go off, and they ended up scoring.
Yeah, listen. I mean, listen, Dembele, I think Dembele is a talented guy. Right now, I'll defend any Barcelona player because we know Frankie de Jong's very, very good. Barcelona's system and their club is not being run very well. When clubs aren't run very well, it's a very hard place for players to flourish. And it's example that someone made there. Anthony Martial was a young player under LVG, was flourishing. Rashford was flourishing in a system that was I think, I know it's a lot of possession based, but where we were trying to attack. You sometimes have to look at this, and you know, I saw I don't know who said it today. Somebody tweeted. It might have been Aaron, actually. Aaron tweeted about Mason Greenwood's new deal, but saying how this coaching staff isn't going to take him forward. And I get you. I agree with you. But the same thing can be said about every United player. If you're gonna turn around and say Joe Bloggs as a manager is going to damage Mason Greenwood, then he must be damaging everybody else. It can't just be Greenwood and Martial that are going to regress and everybody else pushes forward. So the way a club is run and who you have in as your coach is important. So on Julian Nagelsmann, I think he would bring so many great elements to Man United. Is he ready for Beatlemania? That would be the point I would make out. Is he ready for the level of scrutiny, the level of pressure? You know, if he farts in the wrong place, he's going to get criticised. I don't know if he's ready for that yet. Conroy joins us now. Liverpool won tonight, mate. Give me your thoughts on your performance.
Oh, it was a good one, Terry. It was a good one tonight. I'm not going to get too carried away. It's only half-time in the leg, but I thought we're very good. A little bit of luck as well, because they hit the post. They also missed a sitter in the last minute, but no one's talking about that. If that goes in, it's a different game. But we're good tonight. We were good against Leicester for 70 minutes as well, but we collapsed. So tonight, Kabak looked quite good as well. Quite a solid performance. But again, just like, don't have to get carried away. It was good performance, solid. Again, everyone will say Salah was brilliant. He was effective. That's what Salah does. Technically, probably not a great game, but he's effective. He scores. I mean, the first goal comes from a mistake, though. So it's not like Liverpool. It's not like an iron needle ball.
Oh, both of them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know what the centre back's trying for the second one, like, because I genuinely think I could have judged that ball better. Like,
that was
no, it was
Michele.
Yeah,
fair enough. I was about to say.
They were going for Upamecano though. They were going for him. The commentator, Steve McManaman, as usual.
I'm about to go through him in a minute.
Aye.
I'm ready to start an argument on this one, big time. What is it with this guy? Everyone's been banging on about Upamecano being this talented defender. I don't watch him enough. I haven't watched him enough in the Bundesliga, but what I've seen in the Champions League, up against what we call the best teams in Europe. He got slapped by Man United. He got spun by Rashford. He couldn't even do a 3-yard pass against Liverpool without passing it to them. What is it that you think so good about him? Because I'm looking at him thinking, is this Rudiger? Or is this like Zuma? Like, what's going on, mate?
No, you
Like,
see,
honestly,
Jim, I feel
very
like due to the lack of watching him, when you do see him in the games that you watch, which is going to be the English teams or the higher level teams,
the big games. Yeah, the big games, bro.
Yeah, like you're not going to see his full qualities. You know,
well, maybe is he a flat track bully then? You know,
exactly. He might be, but there's a reason why a team like Bayern Munich looks at his qualities and says, yes, we have got
okay, Jay, this is what Bayern said. Bayern said, who is our rival's best player? I don't care how good they are. Let's take them from them and make them put them on the bench.
Bayern Munich, this is about monopoly. Bayern Munich are like Microsoft. Oh, look, there's this new good tech company on the rise with this really good product. We don't know if it works. We don't know if it will rival us. Let's just buy it anyway. And then what happens is they buy it and they go, right, we're either going to keep developing it or we're going to shut it down. That's what Microsoft do, right? Apple do this. That's what Bayern Munich do in Germany. It's like, let's buy this player. Let's see what happens.
Yeah,
but on a real level, I think.
Terry, let Ram tell us. He got the lowdown.
Oh yeah, Ram, come on,
yeah,
Ram.
go on then, Ram. Tell us.
Come on, nice football story.
Go on, bro. Tell us your life story. This is your life. Go for it.
From what I've seen of him, yeah, he's not a Virgil van Dijk or to an extent a Harry Maguire. He's not very good on the ball, but what he's good at, he's very aggressive. He's very good on one-on-one situations. Like he's very, very tough to get past. He's fast, he's strong, and his tackling is very, very good. My problem with what Jem said is that he said Zuma is at the same level as him, which is a complete fallacy.
Why?
Because Kurt Zuma is not as good as a defender as Upamecano.
Yeah, but he's technically as poor.
That's not the point. I said he may be, but Upamecano is a better attacker. And
he's not. Not from what I've seen, mate. Stop talking.
So on Upamecano, right? It's really simple for me. He's young, isn't it? Like I'm going to put it up with a London twang to it. He's young, isn't it? What I see from him when I play is lots of brilliant moments and young, erratic moments that a lot of young defenders have, right?
Yeah.
That's why at this moment in time, he isn't right for Manchester United, because what we need is somebody with more experience who's going to make less mistakes, that isn't so raw, to come in and make our defense brilliant in the here and now, because we have a young right back. We have some young midfielders. We have quite a few young attackers. You can't have youth in everywhere, especially in four. And this was something that Gary Neville spoke about very candidly at the beginning of, I think it was last season, as opposed to this year. And he spoke about how the expectation at Man United was all on our youngsters, the Greenwoods and the Rashfords and the Martials and the AWBs, to be our match winners and perform. And he literally said it's the opposite to what United was when he was coming through as a young player, where the core was Schmeichel, Bruce, Pallister, Cantona, Keane. And we were there as the sort of, he didn't use himself in this analogy, but the Beckhams and the Giggses were there to be cherries on top of the icing on top of the cake. And that's what Man United now need to do. So depending on where your club is and where your club's at, Upamecano with a fit Van Dijk next to him, perfect.
Oh, yeah.
And Man United situation, no. Chelsea situation, they don't need an Upamecano. They need someone that's going to replace Thiago Silva in the long term. And you've got a couple of years left. And that's why sometimes it's horses for courses.
Terry, do you not see Koulibaly in him, though? You remember when we spoke about him, Koulibaly being, because everyone used to say he's world class, and you brought it up and said, look, he's good, but he's very rash on the ball.
So
he gives balls away.
On Koulibaly, it's simple. Koulibaly is very, very good. I rated him. I did a bit of an analysis on him because people started chatting nonsense in their pursuit to be nasty about Maguire. They were pointing things out like, oh, he's been dual passed 17 times. I'm like, yeah, that's actually about 7 below the average of elite level defenders at the top clubs across Europe. So it isn't a bad statistic, but because you're only putting his out in isolation. Just like, by the way, I did exactly the same thing when people went, oh, Paul Pogba spent 27 minutes walking in the game. I'm like, okay, how does that compare to every other midfielder in his position? Because if they all average 27 minutes, then Pogba ain't lazy. But you need to see you need a cross-examination to know whether it's good or bad, right? If I tell you, guess what, bruv? My striker's got 8 goals this season. If you have no idea what good or bad is, like if you've never watched football before, you know 8 goals is good. You need to, but everybody else has got 20. Then your man's shit, innit? Like you need to know context and you need the body of work. So for me, Koulibaly, Upamecano are brilliant. None of them, though, are on par with a peak what's his name, Virgil van Dijk, because there are not that many good defenders around anymore.
And that's the issue. The issue is the quality for centre backs in world football is poor in general. So yes, when you see a Upamecano, when you see a Koundé, a Konate, a Koulibaly, you will be like, yeah, they are very good defenders. For now, you know what I mean? For right now, they're very good. But if you actually analyze their game, and most defenders' game in world football, they are very average. And that is an issue with world football in general.
The problem with what United have at the moment is that the kind of defender that they need, all the players that are available are either over the hill or they're just not going to leave. I don't think, in my opinion, they're going to leave their current club.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that about managers, though. I feel like most of the managers everyone's linked with are potential. There isn't really anyone that's available who is an out-and-out winner, because most of the out-and-out winners are like retired or moved on. We're just in this new era now where it's a lot of contenders for these titles. I got a comment here that says, Terry, what are you talking about? Not getting the best out of Rashford, Martial, and Greenwood. They had their best scoring seasons last year. So they did, and all of them are very talented and very good football players. My point is, I believe with a better manager, with a better attacking philosophy, with better coaching, with a better system, those individuals would yield more goals. They would create more goals. In fact, not only that, having more creative players in the team, so throwing in Grealish's and Sancho's, not all at the same time, because I do understand that you can't have Bruno, Grealish, Sancho, Rashford, Greenwood, and Martial all start at the same time. It just would not work.
Vibes, Terry. Vibes. Screw it.
That is fine. That's the team where I've played attackers as fullbacks because I have it on the semi-pro and I don't need to be able to defend, right? But the thing is like with more creative players within a better system, those individuals would score more goals. I think you could get more out of them. Equally, do I think if Kylian Mbappé in the last 4 years, was managed by Jose and Oli at this current Man United team, do I think he would have hit the heights as an overall football player that we're seeing now? The answer is no. And if you do think that he does, if anyone sits there and says 100% Mbappé would still be as good as he is now if Jose and Oli had been his coach and manager, then I don't want to see you moaning that Oli's holding any players back. Because those two things can't coexist at the same time. Oli can't be holding people back with his lack of coaching. Jose can't suppress football players. And at the same time, you say that an Mbappe or Verratti or who's another good a Phil Foden would be just as good at Man United as they are at Man City. Those two things can't coexist at the same time. So people either need to get their stories straight or stop moaning. But for me, I agree with them that better coaches can make players better, especially with the systems they're in, and if the team is balanced.
Yeah, can I say something wild?
Go on.
Can I say something wild? I cannot wait for the day that Oli leaves. Not because I hate him. I don't think he's this trash manager. It's not because of that. I'm tired of the debate. I'm tired of the conversation. I can't wait. I cannot wait.
It will just be a new debate. Trust me, because we actually don't know how much of the fan base is Oli in. You will find out when the next manager comes, because those people will be Oli out. Will be the new manager out. So it would just be a change of people. So the people that are Oli out now will be the new manager in, and the people that are Oli in, I'm talking about the proper hard, on that hard line Oli in, they'll now be the new manager out. So if you're tired now, just go to sleep in it, because it's not going to change. It's not going to change. That's what I done, because it didn't change after Jose. We had a 3-month period of respite when everyone was like, "Oh, he's at the wheel." And
that was a beautiful time.
And then it all fell apart. I was going to ask a question to Liverpool. What's your name again? Sorry?
Conroy.
Did you learn anything about Liverpool today? And the reason why I say that, you said no, because other than the West Ham game, which is, I guess, you would say it's more of a smaller team, but they're doing very well this year. Liverpool seem to play well against the bigger sides, the bigger games, even if they win or lose, depending on what the result. If you look at the FA Cup game against Man United, for example, I think you played well, but you lost the game. But then you beat Spurs. Man City is probably the only one where it's a big game which you lost, I would say. On the thing, but they played well against Leicester, and then they ended up losing. I think Man City is the only one where they got dominated in the game. If you beat Leipzig today, does that mean that when you go, you think that you can take this form, or whatever it might be, back into the Premier League, or is it just a one-off game, 90 minutes, and it's not going to have any bearing, in your opinion, on what happens on the weekend?
Well, when I've been on the terrace a few times, I've said that Liverpool are a bit like a lottery every game now. Even before the Brighton game, we had Tottenham and West Ham on the bounce. But I know people joke about Man United. I know a few fans have said like individual brilliance, right? But that's basically how I think we bet West Ham, because Antonio misses a sitter just before Salah scores. So right now, I think for me, the people are so quick to come out as a confidence boost. I'm like, have you watched us play in the last 20 games? It's like there isn't any consistency. That's the biggest issue now. So to be honest, going to the Ever game at the weekend, we'll just see what happens, because I'm not going to take anything as accepting it'll be that way. Now, what I would say tonight, though, is Kabak looked good. Henderson's been brilliant at centre-back. He deserves a lot of credit for that. Trent looked good. His confidence seems to be getting back up. What I would say is our defence looked better. But we're saying the defence looked better, but if they score in the last minute, every Liverpool fan's fuming. And then Leipzig, who are going to come to Anfield like Nagelsmann did with Hoffenheim, when it was we beat them in the qualification a couple of years ago, and he'll just come and play, like he'll just go for it. So that'll be a basketball game. So I think it was a good result, but it wasn't perfect, and there's still areas to improve. But I'll be honest with you, is it Neeks? Is that your name, mate?
Yeah.
I think we'll learn more about this team at the weekend than we will tonight.
Do you know what's interesting about that, though? I think when you play like any Nagelsmann team, it's like playing a Bielsa team. You can slap them, but still concede a couple of goals because they just relentlessly attack. They don't stop, and that's unusual, to be honest, in football. Most teams, once they've conceded a couple of goals, they walk away and lick their wounds, shut up shop, because they don't want to concede 3 or 4 or 5. RB Leipzig don't strike me as a kind of... If they lost 7-0 tonight, they'd come out on Saturday, Leipzig, and attack in exactly the same way. It's almost like it's water off a duck's back. So I really do think that, which is also why I think Bielsa never had a job at one of the top clubs, and equally that's when Nagelsmann, in my opinion, is going to have to adjust his football philosophy, because even Klopp did it at Liverpool. They got rid of heavy metal football. That kind of will just outscore you, because it's very hard at the highest level in the elite leagues to win a title playing that way, because you do end up dropping too many points. And I remember there was that adjustment after Van Dijk came in, especially, where you would get to sort of 60 minutes and then you'd be winning, and then you'd slow the pace down, you'd reserve energy. Remember when you went for this period where you'd be winning games and Mo Salah was coming off and you carried on playing at the same rate, and the team kept on scoring goals, and Klopp had to adjust the way he plays. And I think that's what the great managers do. They make subtle adjustments here and there to make their team better. And maybe that's one of those areas where Nagelsmann, as an example, needs a little bit of time. We have a super chat here from Gangadeep, who says, I think parallels can be drawn between Nagelsmann and Leipzig and Rodgers at Liverpool. I think Rodgers took the jobs slightly too early. Great attacking football, but defensively suspect, especially during the 13-14 season. I mean, it's always been my criticism of Brendan Rodgers. I've always felt amazing coach. I'm still not convinced that he's a brilliant or good enough manager. Although this season they seem to be really balancing things well. He's bought good. The team's moving forward, but as you say, maybe too early for him, because I don't think people understand the pressure. And isn't Nagelsmann like 33, 34?
Yeah, he's only 33. Plenty of time.
Yeah, he's 33.
He's like baby,
21. He's younger than Mbappé.
Yeah, I think, you know, that's another thing that needs to be considered here, because you think about all high-powered and high-pressure jobs in the world. How many of them are that? How many people that age are doing it? Like, legit, how many CEOs of sort of FTSE 100 companies of that age? How many people are commissioner of the police or in charge of the fire brigade or high-level MPs at that age, right? And I'm putting it on that level because the level of scrutiny that football managers receive in terms of social pressure, social media pressure, media coverage. Not being funny, you're the Man United manager. You're written about more than business people. You know, only probably the prime minister and the president get more coverage in our news. It feels like, to me anyway. Do you get what I mean? Like that kind of pressure at 32, 33, 34. Can someone handle that? I don't know. And
especially after last season where he punched way above his weight in the Champions League.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting one. But what I'm basically heard from Ram and Conroy tonight is they beat Leipzig 2-0. That means you're going to win the Champions League. Is that right?
Yes.
Not at all.
Yes.
Not at all.
Yeah,
Not at all.
Actually, no. What we're talking about, it's clearly Chelsea going to win Champions League. Tuchel time. Tuchel tactics.
Don't even go there.
It's on,
you were
bro.
sitting there
It's
saying
on.
that you're going to win the Europa League in group chat. I heard that.
No. Listen. I'm happy that you think Man United will win the Champions League. I'm happy.
You said
and
it.
I did not say
some
such thing.
crypto
I'm just happy that you think we're going to win it. We're going to need that positive energy to go and get a trophy when you finish trophyless. When you finish trophyless, then we got one. It's all good.
Well, I think Liverpool's biggest Achilles heel, you might say, in this Champions League will be Atletico Madrid if they come to it. So you might want to hope that Chelsea knock out Atletico.
Maybe what I'd say last season was, see when Atletico knocked us out, see for that full game for 90 minutes. Like Liverpool again, like usual, can't finish their dinner. Roberto Firmino special, missed loads of chances in that first half. And I'm quite honest, fan. We absolutely dominated Atletico in that game. So I would say they're the most fearful team. But
the reason why I say it's more in terms of how the game that Liverpool's lost or dropped points this season was against teams that are
it's a low block,
back.
mate. A low block. That's the excuse, sir. It's low block. We've lost. That's it.
You know what?
It's so bad.
The Champions League, though.
But they will kill you on both sides of the field. At this season, they are
Suarez,
lethal.
especially. Suarez has been good.
The Champions League, though, is going to be so good because, as you say, Ati are having an amazing season. The Suarez move, not that I like the guy, it's genius. It seems inspired. And how amazing is it? Like Barca, he looked lost. He looked finished at Barcelona. Why? The club weren't great. The mood isn't great. The atmosphere isn't great.
Apparently Messi wasn't happy that he left, and apparently
he weren't.
They weren't.
Why would he be?
But this is the thing. At the end of the day, this is what happens when a club becomes toxic. The relationships break down. People don't want to be there, and it impacts what goes on the field. But Ati, you're doing great. All right, you got Bayern Munich. I think they're outright favourites still to do it. Obviously, you got Paris Saint-Germain that are looking good, and you're an idiot to write Liverpool off. If I'm being honest, because on their day they can beat anyone. You got Man City in there, so you got 5 that could win it. There's 2 teams I want to ask about here because obviously we're going to cover these more as we move forward. But can Real Madrid win it?
Yes.
No.
Yes. Wait, listen. They on paper cannot win it, but these men are this is their competition. I would not be
but they're not the same.
No, they're not the same. I know they're not the same. I know they're not the same as when Ronaldo was there with them. But when you've got a man who's won it 3 times in a row, when you've got players who've won it 3 times in a row, you cannot discount their internal.
Okay, I hear you, but Real Madrid won the Champions League in, I want to say 98, 2000, and 2002. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Then Gareth Bale came. Then Gareth Bale came and changed it all. People just don't give him enough credit. Don't give him enough credit.
98, 2000, 2002. So 3 times in 6 years or whatever it is, 5 years. And then they went on this drought where they didn't even get past the last 16. So they still had quality players. When Henry ran through the whole team, they had the likes of Ronaldo, Guti, so all those players who won it. So I understand what you're saying. When you've won it, you got a chance of winning it again. But there's also ebbs and flows and peaks and troughs.
In football, like, I'm not saying they're the favourites. I'm not saying like
not done.
No.
Right now, you know what's weird? What's even worse? Barcelona haven't won it for 6 years.
Oh yeah, they're finished. No, them men are finished. No, them men are finished.
I guarantee
Real Madrid. I'll just say Real Madrid are dark horses in this because again, you never know. You never know. They look like they was going to go out of the Champions League and into Europa League for the first time in how long, and they turned it on. So it's possible.
Yeah, I look at that. So that's Real Madrid. We've mentioned Man City. Chelsea?
No, don't even go there. Don't do this.
KJ, who was the second team you were going to say?
Tuchel,
No.
Champions League finalist.
KJ, calm down.
Yes.
Stop it.
Chelsea are back.
Stop
Chelsea
it.
are back.
Why do this?
Do what?
If Juventus get a good run, I think they can.
Wait a second. Have we got
Well,
Real Madrid? The hardest
Juve,
team?
I just... Yeah, do you know when I think of Chelsea, Real Madrid, Juve, when we think about the other teams we've mentioned, when we think of Ati, Man City, PSG, Bayern, and Liverpool, and I throw Liverpool in there, I can't look beyond those 5. As good as Juve and Chelsea can be on their day, and Real Madrid, I just think they're all ready.
What Real Madrid playing in this round?
They've got Atalanta.
Oh yeah, they're bad.
They do play a high brand of football attacking, so they probably go out. But the only way that you get a Real Madrid or a Juve or a Chelsea in a semi or final is if they play each other in a quarter. That's until they have to play each other.
But you're saying, wait a second. You're saying we can't beat Liverpool?
Well, hang on, mate. You've got to beat Atletico first. So if Atletico was going to win it, then you ain't. Like, I mean, so yeah, I mean, that's the hardest bit. I mean, you're gonna, you're right there, Nick. For some people, sometimes you can get a luck of the draw in it. Like, if Chelsea beat Atletico Madrid and I don't know, Atalanta beat Real Madrid and then Chelsea get Atalanta in the next round, and then do you get what I mean? You might be able to find like, man, but if Chelsea get past Atletico and then get Paris Saint-Germain and then get past Paris Saint-Germain and get Bayern Munich, I can't see this Chelsea team beating those three on the bounce. Do you know what I mean? I think you can beat one of them.
Do you know when we won? You know when we won it, we beat Napoli, Barcelona, and Bayern Munich, mate, and we had the worst squad at that season
but
as well.
you still had John Terry.
Never say never.
You still had Frank Lampard.
Wait, Terry. Jem just said they're going to win the Champions League.
No, I didn't.
Never say never. You said never say never, bro.
I just said Jem saying he's going to win the Champions League. Chelsea.
No, I was going back on
Champions
what
League.
Terry was saying in terms of that we can't play these three teams
No,
and not
you
win
are
it.
going
We've done
to
it in the past,
It's
but
okay,
we're not
Jem.
going to win it. We're not going to win it. We're not going to win it. Hush your gums.
Do me a favor, everybody tuning in, please smash the like button right about now, please. Still over 2,000 people watching, which is amazing for a Tuesday night after a Barcelona defeat and a Liverpool victory this early on in the Champions League. So make sure you're smashing that like button for us. Really, really important that you get that done. Man City are favourites every year. 0 Champions Leagues.
Well, I've got a question for you, actually. I've got a question. Who do you think will win the Champions League first, Man City or PSG?
PSG.
See, I don't know. I think tactically PSG have been really poor in the bigger games. Tonight's a bad example, but you see against Bayern Munich, I thought tactically they just look. Neymar, as amazing player he is, but he wants to do everything himself. So therefore, he just takes the ball back, and it just. I don't know. It felt a bit like, see, when Coutinho was at Liverpool, it's like everything's got to go through him. So Neymar's not playing tonight. Therefore, PSG play more like a team. It's not a coincidence.
Wait, can that be said about Kevin De Bruyne and Man City?
I'm saying Man City, bro.
I think he's a different, though, isn't he? He's like Coutinho's very like shoot orientated. Neymar, I watched him against Bayern Munich. He's trying to get back in the final. He takes the ball 80 yards away from the goal. It slows everything down.
I know, but you know, in terms of what you just said, as in you take Neymar out and they start to play more as a team and things go through different people more. Can that be said about Manchester City and Kevin De Bruyne?
I'd say no, because I think the midfielders that Pep has been utilising has been a little bit different from the last couple of seasons. I see Phil Foden as a midfielder, but he plays as a winger, and he's probably one of the most creative outlets for Manchester City. Ilkay Gundogan is almost playing as a shadow striker in some cases. So I'd say if Kevin De Bruyne is back in that squad, I see that there's multiple options that they can use.
They've got the best squad in the Champions League. If you look at
it, did City not do half a season without De Bruyne and won the league previously as well? Was that 17-18? So
that's true.
I get what you're saying. No, it's a good point. I just think De Bruyne is a little bit more. I don't know. He's not. He spreads it about more. He can do a bit both. You know what I mean? I think Man City have got that good a squad that they're proving they don't need him.
Yeah, exactly.
And I feel like the difference between, say, City and Paris Saint-Germain, or City and any other team in the Champions League that's got half a chance of winning it, the pressure that your fans put on you, there's City fans don't care about it. And me and Neeks, obviously, I've met Jan face to face, spoke to her about it. I can't remember. Ray spoke to him about it. Every City fan I've ever spoke to about winning the Champions League, they go, basically they swear about it and say don't want that nonsense. They hate it. I almost feel like if they got banned from it, that would suit them.
Because they can't win it.
They can't win it. They don't seem bothered by it, and sometimes that kind of subconscious behavior.
PSG fans want that
not subconscious behavior. Sometimes that kind of behavior can seep subconsciously into the minds of players. Like, does it really matter if we go out? And when it comes to the crunch, I think that kind of behavior really does matter. Super Chat here says Mbappe is miles ahead of Marcus on output plus. I think it means
on output, eye test, nose
test. Okay. And any kind of test United fans want to bring to the table. Listen, man, what happened? Listen, this whole rap Mbappe. Let me just address this.
This is what I mean.
This is what happened. When Rashford burst onto the scene, I can't remember if Rashford or Mbappe came first or
Rashford
not.
Came first.
I don't even care who did. It doesn't even matter to me. Fans naturally go, yeah, but my guy's better when they're first bursting onto the scenes, right? Everybody does this, and one always comes out on top because they can't both be the best. It's as simple and straightforward as that. It wasn't very long though until most Man United fans are like, yeah, you know what, Mbappe's quality. I stand by what I said about Rashford 2.5, 3 years ago. I think he has the ability to reach a tier 1 level. But remember, within tier, I mean, it doesn't mean everyone on tier 1 is as good as each other. There are still tiers within tiers.
I agree.
Mbappe has pulled well away from him. But
yeah,
just because Mbappe is better than Rashford, just because Mbappe is better than Martial, just because Mbappe is better than Mason Greenwood, you telling me they're not doesn't mean I'm going to love my guys any less.
You know what's mad?
Like that's the thing with it. Like, that's
Wait,
why
you know what's mad? I reckon
same is not better than Van.
Actually, one sec, KJ. I actually think some people they're so again they're not fans of Man United. They're consumers, so they want Man United like a bit like if you're arguing over who's best out of Prince and Michael Jackson, it's like I want my favorite artist to have the best album ever, not your. Yeah. It's like I'm a Man United fan, and for me to be happy, I need to have the best youngster. I need to have the best defender. I need to have the best manager. Otherwise, nothing else really matters. It's all just for show and tell, and it's just nonsense for me. And Mbappe is amazing. Love it, right? But it doesn't make me dislike my players. It's weird, man.
No, literally, I reckon if Rashford didn't play for United, United fans would back him more in terms of he could actually get better and become in that tier. I think because they see Rashford week in, week out and see his deficiencies, they just get to a point where they're like, oh, he can never become this player like Mbappe. But I'm just like, yo, if you took those glasses off, and actually just analysed him as a player, you would probably say, actually, no, he could get there. He's going to change a few things. And if he wasn't playing for Man United, a Man United team that's struggling to win the Premier League for after how many years, I think United fans would be more patient with him.
If he was at Liverpool, he'd probably be like Trent.
Well, do you know what it is? I've had this thought for a long time. If Rashford right now was playing for, I'm just going to throw a name out there like Aston Villa or whoever, Man United fans all around the country be screaming, we need someone like Rashford. They just would. It's a weird one why Rashford is the kind of, a bit like, I remember Arsenal fans especially and Liverpool fans for 2 years, they were on the neck of Martial. And then there was big rumors Martial was going to leave. And I just remember suddenly out of nowhere on socials, YouTubers, Arsenal fans and Liverpool fans, oh, could you imagine what Klopp would do with Martial? It would be amazing, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Appreciation came out. And trust me as well, like this would also happen if Rashford, you said about Ollie earlier, about him leaving. Sometimes I want Rashford to leave. And I'd love Rashford to go and join Paris Saint-Germain or
Chelsea.
join Real Madrid. Yeah. No, not and kill it. And then I'd love him to kill it and be like, yeah, now what you're saying. Like I just know he's talented and and just because Mbappe is better, it doesn't really mean much to me. Like,
yeah, but Terry, we would get more out of him because we've got Tuchel, remember, a top quality manager. So
wait, is that
how
saying?
Pulisic doing?
Wait, is that Jem saying that Rashford's better than Pulisic and he wants to sign him? That's what I heard.
He is better than Pulisic. I've said that. I agree.
Oh, okay.
I don't lie.
Okay.
I say it as it is.
Also, people in the comments, don't forget, Jem said Chelsea are going to win the Champions League. If you
make sure you're throwing that back at him for a while. We are ending pretty soon, but I just see man in the background there. Man like Prime's here as well. It kind of ruins the flow with the six, because the six fits nicely into my frame. But I'm going to throw you in anyway, bro, because you're sitting there like, why's the light off, bro?
Prime's angry. He's angry.
He's
mad. What's the matter, Prime?
He's sulking.
He's angry that Poch is now outperforming Jose. His favorite.
Have you got your arms inside your jumper as well?
No.
Wait, what's with the light? What's with the light?
Why do you need the torch?
I don't want to say where that came from. That was funny.
Man searching for his virginity. What are you doing, bro?
What?
No, actually, you know what? Get all your jokes out. It's fine.
Sorry, Prime.
You're Prime. Where's your electricity, bro? Like, can't you turn on a big light?
I can, but
it's a dark night, bruv.
He's trying to woo someone. He's got someone in the room with him trying to woo.
He's in the room with you, bruv.
You look to your right. I see that.
No, he's put his hand. He's covering his hand.
Prime. Get him on camera now. Get him on camera now.
All right, Prime, are they doing the silhouette challenge for you? Is that why the light is on? That's what's happening.
Put your head on my shoulder.
Prime. Cool. Any more jokes?
Prime. Chelsea going to win the Chelsea going to win the Champions League? Priming
this season? No.
Wait, this season?
No.
So are they going to
Why
win it? Are they going to win the Champions League?
Don't listen
Are we
to
gonna
them,
are we
bruv.
gonna win it again?
Yeah.
We're not winning it this season. If that's what you're asking.
Exactly.
No. Just say, do you think Chelsea are going to win the Champions League again?
KJ, I'm too smart for you. We're not winning it this season.
No.
Just
answer the question.
Will Chelsea win the Champions League again? Yes, but not this season. I know what you're trying to do.
Cool.
Will Man United win the Champions League, KJ?
No, because under the Glazers, no. As soon as listen. As soon as the Glazers leave, I'm putting out all the gas about we're winning quadruples out. Yeah, so Prime.
This Barcelona team is. I've been saying it for the past 3 years.
Oh, here we go. Ladivus, I told you so, Brian.
Ladivus,
I told you so, Brian.
This team is so below average. That's why when Liverpool got gas because they beat them 4-0, that wasn't impressive. Tonight they were average. Yeah, and Mbappé took advantage of that, but still, it's so amazing to see.
Messi is going to City 100%. He's going to City. It's going to happen.
Messi can go to City.
No, Man United.
Messi can come to City, and then we'll see what he's doing in the Premier League.
Do you know what? Though?
Okay. He's won 10 La Liga titles, but he's not achieved anything.
Really, he's gonna get clamped in the line.
I hold on to bitterness for a long time. But after what Barca did to us in the last 2 Champions League finals, I'm so glad to see them going through that. Even though we're in the mud as well, really as a club, I'm glad to see their dip coming, because when you see a team just at the top for so long and so brilliant, it's honestly so beautiful to see. It really, really is. Do me a favor, everyone tuning in, smash that like button right now, please. Just get this past 1,000 likes, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. We're back tomorrow. More content for you. I've got 2 great guests making their debut on a show with me tomorrow. We've got Touchline Fracas Toby, the Spurs fan, on at 5, and a special Chelsea guest as well at 5 o'clock tomorrow. Really excited about that show. Sorry?
Sophie Rose, let's go.
No, it's not Sophie Rose. It's better than that. So
It's
make sure you
Wait, AJ, why are you thinking about Sophie Rose?
Because she's
why
the
are you not?
I'm about to say.
We know why you're not, Prime. We know why you're not, bro. Listen, everybody tune in tomorrow. Take care of yourselves, everyone. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again